we have a new box office today. Deadpool and Wolverine was the number one movie of the weekend, making $205 million domestically and globally. The movie made around $438 million. This is, of course, probably going to be and stay the highest grossing opening of the year. Superhero movies have been on the mass decline for the past couple of years. And the last real successful superhero movie is Spider-Man No Way Home. And we can compare it to No Way Home. So No Way Home opened at $260 million. There was no way Deadpool and Wolverine is going to make $814 million. But we're making this comparison anyways. So the movie actually had similar holes to the movie, to No Way Home. And we're gonna, of course, the problem with this movie versus No Way Home is that No Way Home movies during the holidays, which is why the movie made so much money. Okay, the reason why No Way Home made so much money is partially because of the holiday season. Deadpool Wolverine has no holidays. Okay, no holidays at all until Labor Day. Labor Day, of course, Deadpool Wolverine will still be out, obviously, but this movie has no holidays, so I think the movie's gonna end up around making $600 million. I think $600 million domestically seems a pretty reasonable number as well. But we can look at the numbers for Deadpool and Wolverine as well and compare it to another one of the highest openings of the year, Avatar. No, not Avatar, of the year of all time, Avatar: The Way of Water. You can add that movie into comparison. Avatar: The Way of Water actually had a pretty bad opening at the very beginning, but eventually did make this much money, which is a lot of money. Mario, Mario didn't make that much money, but there aren't really many movies to compare this to because we don't really have any post-COVID massive movies. Maybe we can sneak in Barbie. I think Barbie's a pretty good comparison. Barbie made $162 million. But Barbie didn't really have very good wigs, obviously, compared to the holiday movies, because these two movies did very, very well because of the holidays. Okay, so I think Barbie, we can make a comparison with that movie. So Barbie ended up making around $646 million. I think this movie which may open $40 million more, will probably open right under Avatar: The Way of Water. Which Avatar: The Way of Water made so much money because of how well it did during the holiday season. Okay, this is why you shouldn't underestimate Sonic, even that awful Mufasa movie, because those movies are releasing during the holidays. The holidays, a big chunk of Avatar: Way of Water's money is from the holidays. Okay, if this movie wasn't a holiday release, the movie would have ended up making around $300 to $330 million. Okay, even like No Way Home, the reason why No Way Home made so much money is because of the holidays. Okay, so let's just compare Deadpool and Wolverine to Barbie, which is a much more fair comparison, because Barbie released in the same month, around the same time, and it made a lot of money. So Barbie, I think, as of now, is the best comparison. We can also compare another movie, Top Gun, as well. That movie had insanely good box office results, but again, the movie had insanely good box office rates, making $700 million. So, yeah. Both movies, ended up making $1.4 billion globally. We can also even add in another movie to this comparison, I think will be very understanding, is Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2. Okay. Inside Out 2 looks like it's performing very similar to Barbie. If you look at the numbers for Inside Out 2, the movie is actually performing very similar domestically to Barbie. So I think Inside Out 2 will end up making a similar amount of money to Barbie. But this movie is outperforming Inside Out 2 as well. So Inside Out 2, versus Deadpool. We're going to see how this movie performs. We'll get to the other movies now. Twisters. Yeah, and things are not looking very great for Twisters. The problem with Twisters is that no one's watching this movie outside the United States. And we talked about this last week that this movie's not gonna break even if no one internationally goes to see the movie. So no matter how well it does in the United States, which seems to be doing average, well, guess what? International audiences are not showing up for this movie. Probably because Deadpool took all the screens away from this movie, which means no matter how much movie money this movie makes, Deadpool and Wolverine was going to take it away anyways. Take away any sort of momentum this movie had. Which I said this, again, Hollywood has some horrible release schedules. Like, they could release Twisters in March, not much, in May, when there was nothing coming out. Okay, but instead they decided to release Furosa, a movie that nobody wanted. And now, Twisters, which could have been generally a massive hit, be thrown to the wayside to please, the same thing with Ghostbusters. Why release Madame Web? Why release Furosa? No one, okay, this is the problem with Hollywood. They would rather release these crappy, woke-ass, feminist movies and throw way better movies to the wayside. Because we gotta push the agenda on the holidays, it's just, this movie could have been easily, okay, Despicable Me 4, that movie was not gonna do well against. Or heck, push it back, you could push it back a week to give this movie some breathing distance away in Deadpool, but they didn't want to do that. Hollywood doesn't understand why some of these movies fail. It's because sometimes it's just, you release it, if something that's like, this is why they didn't release anything a week before Endgame, because they knew everything released afterwards was gonna nosedive. That's why Shazam, when they released that movie, they released it a month before Endgame. They released Dumbo a month before Endgame, because they knew both of those movies would drop off massively once Endgame came out, because everybody wanted to see Endgame. But it's like releasing, okay, let's say the two major sequels. Okay, they're releasing Mario Bros. 2. Okay, Mario Bros. 2 we all know is gonna make everybody knows is gonna make $400 million. Let's say that's $200 million opening weekend. Okay, but then they release let's just say Spider-Verse 3 a week before. It does very well, but Spider-Verse 3 does way worse because Mario comes out. Okay, everyone wants to see Mario. Okay. Spider-Verse 3, everybody loves it. The fans of Spider-Verse love it. But Mario is the bigger movie. Okay? Mario is the more popular character. Okay? Mario is the character that people love more than Spider-Verse. Than Miles Morales Spider-Man. Okay? Everybody's gonna go see the Mario movie too. Everyone wants to see Yoshi. And Mario movie makes $100 million and Spider-Verse drops 60% on the second weekend. Spider-Verse 3. Okay, I'm not using that as a simple thing, but we can also see that with Mission Impossible vs. Barbie. Okay, they really thought that, Barbie and Oppenheimer, they wouldn't be two very successful movies. They would flop and, Tom Cruise would get the W again, okay? But it seems that Hollywood just needs to really fix the release schedule. Ghostbusters and Twisters could have been easy hits. These were, for example, they released Ghostbusters a week before Godzilla. Bad idea. Godzilla made so much money that it for Ghostbusters. And again, Ghostbusters and Twisters have the same exact problem. They can't seem to get international markets to go see this movie. They can't seem to get international results for this movie. Yeah. Now we're going to go back to the weekend thoughts. And Despicable Me 4 as well. The load at $637 million. I don't think the movies can hit $1 billion. It's having very good rigs, obviously. Despite every YouTube critic saying this movie is complete garbage or it's a horrible movie or something like that, it seems that the audiences want to see this movie. This movie's gonna pass $300 million domestically. We could compare it to the past Despicable Me movies, so Despicable Minions: The Rise of Gru. The movie, at the current moment, is performing 8 million behind Minions: The Rise of Gru, which means the movie is basically performing behind Rise of Gru. And I think the gap is going to continue to grow. Okay, it's going to continue to grow because Rise of Gru is much more successful. But the movie has outgrossed Despicable Me 3. There is no Despicable Me 3 is, I think Despicable Me 4 ended up making around $340 million domestic. I think no, not Despicable Me 3. Despicable Me 4 is making $340 million domestically. Okay. Again, you do have a lack of new releases coming out. Like, who's going to see the Borderlands movie? Like, no one. Okay, but August is kind of like, like January. No one releases movies in August because we all know it's not a very... Because everybody's going back to school. Okay, kids are going back to school. Inside Out 2, the movie has made $1.5 billion, which means this is actually the highest grossing animated movie of all time. Yes, now it is the highest grossing animated movie of all time. Unfortunately, Disney now holds the record. Actually, they still held the record, but Disney still holds the record. And it's funny that everybody was talking about how Universal is going to eventually pass Disney, but Universal has been kind of struggling. Okay, like Despicable Me 4, the movie's doing pretty well at the box office, but isn't doing as well as previous entries globally. That's mostly because of international box office not doing as well as it used to. I think that's been the biggest problem this year, is movies have been struggling to get international money. Okay. Long Legs made $65 million, and, pretty well box office wise. So, Quiet Place Day 1 made $253 million globally. So, pretty successful movie as well. Again, they launched this between Despicable Me and Inside Out, which this movie did pretty well despite that. So, next is Bad Boys Ride or Die. The movie made $395 million. Massive, massive box office success here as well. So, then we got The Fabulous 4, which released this week, and no one went to go see it, so no one cared. So that's about this box office weekend, and overall, it was a very good box office weekend because of how well Deadpool and Wolverine did. It actually, quote unquote, overperformed the so-called expectations. Again, yeah, another movie in the list of movies that overperformed expectations. These people who predict the box office really need to get new jobs because they are not. They have underestimated so many movies released this year. Deadpool, Twisters, Inside Out by a massive margin, Bad Boys for Life, and then we could go back to Mars, Godzilla, Kung Fu Panda, as well, where those movies overperforming these so-called expectations as well. So Deadpool and Wolverine is the number one movie. So Disney gets another win, unfortunately, but, hey, maybe Disney's finally turning the ship around. Which, I want to see woke Disney fail. But if Disney learned from last year's box office and finally realized that you have to make normal movies, not, garbage like Risk or the Marvels, then maybe I'll stop comparing about Disney all the time. Because if they made normal movies like Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2 all the time, no one would be complaining about Disney, having the highest grossing movies of the year and stuff. No one would care. It's because people care because Disney's trying to put an agenda on people and stuff like that. But it seems that Disney, hopefully this year they finally learned the lesson. Okay, they probably won't. Disney's probably not gonna. It's gonna be a slow burn for Disney. But that's about this video here. Goodbye.